tale as old as time. Son lives with mother. Son and mother have unhealthy codependent relationship. Son falls in love with a real girl. Girl moves in. Mom asserts dominance, because there could only be one queen after all. It's sounding a little familiar, doesn't it? This is starting to feel a lot like Colty and Debbie. Let's get into Clayton's mama drama. Hi guys, welcome to Nikki Faces Reality. If you clicked on this video, it's because you want the latest on 90 Day Fiance, specifically Clayton and Anali. Before we get into that, a little bit of housekeeping. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't, because I'll be making a lot of recaps this new year, and not just 90 Day Fiance. We're going to hit Love is Blind starting next month, and you guys won't want to miss it. Subscribe so that you can get in on the action and we can kiki about it in the comments. But back to the recap. So we see Clayton and his mother, and let's just say she's not having a good time living with Anali. She is being really coy about it all, saying that she doesn't have a problem living with Anali. She just wishes, that she would, do a little more to adapt to the American culture, which I think is so interesting, because it's Anali will adapt eventually, but she just got here. You should be trying to make this grace period, provide some comfort and some ease while she transitions, not nitpick. Also, because this is going to be your son's wife and you are taking up more space than you should. So this conversation is happening while Clayton is driving his mom somewhere, and he's really trying to get her to be honest about what she's feeling, because he's felt that the environment has been a bit tense. He says that his mom is notorious for being passive aggressive, and every time she says things, Anali doesn't catch it because of the language difference, but he knows, and he knows his mom, so it's just made him really uncomfortable. So as Clayton is telling his mama these things, she's getting a bit defensive, and he's like, you're saying things are okay, but that's not what I'm experiencing. He's just like, it's not adding up. And then the mom is like, well, I wish that she would try to cook a little more American food. And when I heard that, my first instinct was, you are so ungrateful. One, she's cooking, it sounds like, good food for you. You're upset that she was in the kitchen cooking chicken for 2 hours. You're having a good meal. You're complaining because you want a burger. You can make yourself a burger, or you can go buy it. If you want American food, you are the American. You make it. I just thought that was so strange that you're expecting this girl to make every single meal or make everything that you want. Again, she just got here. She probably wants foods that feel like they're from back home. I just thought that was so odd. It's you're the American. If you want American fast food at home, then that would be a nice bonding thing that you do, that you lead. But to put that on Anali was just, and it also feels to me culturally insensitive. I don't want to call her racist, because I don't think that's what it is, but it is a bit culturally insensitive. And she goes on to say that she basically feels the way that Anali doesn't ask her for help in the kitchen, that she doesn't ask for her input. And I'm just like, it's awkward in there. You are a grown woman willingly living in a closet. You have a weird relationship with your son. Yeah, that would be a lot. And there's a language barrier. If I were Anali, I would take it really slow. I would definitely work on a relationship with your mother-in-law, but the last thing you want is someone breathing down your neck when you can't even communicate. But then that leads to the other issue, which is that she feels a way that Anali is not speaking English enough in the house. So to my understanding, the reason Anali and Clayton have been together this long is because Clayton learned Spanish before he met Anali. I think that's the whole thing. And so that's why they're able to speak fluently in Spanish. That's where she's comfortable. She's learned a little English, but she's not fluent in English. So I understand that she may want to communicate with her fiance in a language that she feels most comfortable in. But I also can empathize with the mom and that feeling of being uncomfortable or feeling left out in a house where it's just the three of you and you're the only one that can't understand what's going on. I would imagine that would get annoying after a while. But this is a brand new engaged couple. This is a couple that is experiencing living together for the first time. As a mother, I don't know. I just feel like boundaries are clearly an issue here, but I just can't understand how she wouldn't think to go out of her way to give their situation extra grace. Especially because she's taking up so much space in his home. Clayton hasn't mentioned wanting his mother out of the house. And even when they were in San Diego and Anali was like, oh, I want to live here, he was like, I can't afford to move you, me, and my mom. So, like, his mother has always been part of the plan. However, now living with Anali, he's noticing that this is going to take a lot of work. But he hasn't said out loud before that he wants his mother out. But the mother is feeling away. She feels like she's being iced out. And it's because, yeah, you're not in a relationship with your son. Like, he is a grown man. And so she says, in a very guilt-trippy way, if I had a place to go, I would go. I know that that's where this is going. I know that that's where you want me to do. He doesn't say no, but this situation is affecting his relationship with Anali. Anali doesn't even want to touch him because his mom is so close. Granted, I don't think Anali likes this man, but she's definitely not going to touch him while his mom is so close. So they get back to the house, and Anali is stressed out, packing, and she's nitpicking every single thing that Clayton is doing. So apparently they're packing up because they're traveling to Indiana for the wedding from Kentucky, and she's really stressed, and Clayton is being really jokey and not taking things seriously, and she's talking to him like he's her son. They're back to this dynamic. But I can understand why she is stressed in this moment. She has asked Clayton if he has gotten an officiant for their wedding, the wedding that's 3 days away. And he's like, anybody can be the officiant. It doesn't matter. Anybody can be it. And she's like, it's important that you do this. Okay, how about my makeup artist? Did you get a makeup artist for me? And he's like, oh, I was just thinking my sister could do it. And she's like, it's a special event. We need a professional to do my face. And this man has no urgency. And how can I say this? You guys, this is a safe space. There is nothing wrong with being short. I've known plenty short men that still have alpha energy. Not Napoleon energy, alpha energy. Take charge, men that are responsible. And so they almost look taller because they have that giant leader energy, right? Every time Clayton acts like a dimwit, he looks like a shrimp more and more to me. He looked like such a little boy to me. Instead of being like, babe, like I dropped the ball, he was like, well, you're not doing anything. Like, this will make it easier if you took half of the responsibility, if you used your English. And it's like the comfort level with the language, the fact that you are from here and that you know where to look for things are more accessible to you as the American. I just thought that was so childish for him to be like, well, you're not doing anything. And it's like, sir, you brought her here. You are the one that should know how to do things. Any person with 3 brain cells knows that you don't just plan a wedding in a week. If that's the kind of rush process that you want, go to the courthouse. But to want to make a whole production of a wedding and do nothing and just divert responsibility to people that you're not paying is crazy. And more on that shortly. So while Clayton is having shrimp dick energy, the mom is fully eavesdropping. She tells the producer, yeah, I know when she's angry because the Spanish just gets faster. And again, I don't want to call her racist, but it's tipping that line, okay? And Clayton comes out of the room and immediately, again, is super childish and tells his mom the tea because she's, of course, fishing for it. Mom is like, yeah, Anali doesn't really care to learn English. And Clayton is like, yeah, I guess it is annoying that she doesn't speak English and she's not helping with this and that. And it's just so nasty. And of course, Anali is listening to them because, of course, the walls are paper thin. So Anali is picking up little by little what they're saying. And she was like, let me come here and step up to y'all. So she goes out of the room and she's like, and he tries to kiss her and she's like, I'm not in the mood. Which again, Clayton loves to throw a stone and then hide his hand. Anali stands on business and she's like, I understood a bit of what you guys were talking about. And they start bickering in front of the mom. They're all types of wrong in this situation. Clayton is clearly not organized and didn't appreciate being placed in the hot seat. If he would have actually planned out this wedding and had a list of things that needed to be done with enough time and then delegated some to Anali, she could have supported him. And that is what she told him. But instead, he deflects in front of her and then talks shit about her to his mom, which again is sending mixed messages to the mom because he was just having a conversation with her about him wanting her and his fiance to get along, to then turn around and talk shit about his fiance. Yeah, that's gonna go real well. And I'm not saying Anali is an angel in this. I think that, as we've discussed, they're both infuriating. But I give her a lot of grace because she just got here. The one thing that I would say for her in her situation is you don't know how long you're going to live with your mother-in-law. Try your best to find something to connect in. Find your best to find things to do together because you are stuck in this small apartment and you really have to find a way to get her on your side or get her to see that you're trying to make your life easier. But also, you guys, we've seen this play out so many times. We've seen when a son lives with his mom and she's the queen of the kingdom and she babies her son, but she's also in a weird way her son's wife. And then the son falls in love with a hot younger woman and that woman lives in the house and she starts cooking things that are different, starts moving around furniture, and the mom is itching with rage at the fact that someone else is the new queen in the house. And so the way to assert dominance is to start fights, have emotional fits so that your husband slash son has to pick your side. If you're going to live with your son, you are not going to be the woman of his life. You have to be a team player. You have to play nice. And if you don't want to play nice, get your own kingdom. Like, the problem here isn't that the mom is living with them. Problematic that she's living in a closet, but her living with them in itself isn't the problem. Everyone just has to adjust to the dynamic change. And if you are trying to be the man in your relationship, the leader of your marriage, if you're trying to have Anali feel safe enough to marry you, to let her family know about you, and the other million things that you want out of a relationship, you have to play the part as well. You can't talk shit about her to your mom. So anyway, Anali and Clayton are about to head out to Indiana. It looks like they're heading out before his mom. And Clayton packs the guinea pigs in the car. And I'm just like, why didn't you leave them with your mom? Anali looks so annoyed. And this is not how you want to go into your wedding weekend. But Clayton cannot read a room when it comes to Anali. And so Clayton has gone on and on about how upset that he is that he's done all the planning with his sister and that it's fallen all in their hands. And then we quickly realize that he hasn't done jack shit. All he has done is whine. He's directed all of his planning to his sister. He has directed every single responsibility of this wedding to his sister without payment, without a thank you. Yet he's taking all the credit in front of his fiance to make her feel like shit. You see Brandy, his sister, and she arrives and she is so annoyed. There's a written list in her hand. Apparently, he didn't stop at llama and a bachelorette party. He has added more to her list. Mind you, him and his sister are not close. She's also annoyed at his carelessness over all of this. Dancing on the line of being a good sister, but also being like, you are not asking me for help because I'm someone that you value. You're asking me for help because of convenience. And so she doesn't appreciate being used. So she's like, what have you gotten done since it's your wedding? Like, what do you have? This man has only taken care of plates and flowers. Nothing else. She's like, I don't understand how everybody is coming to this wedding to enjoy themselves and I'm here stressed out over it. And this little man fixes his mouth to say, well, it's our wedding, so we're the ones that should be enjoying ourselves. And it's like, usually when people get married and want a wedding, they either plan it themselves or they hire a wedding planner. Very few are lucky to have someone that puts their own money into it or donates their time for free. And in this situation, it almost feels like the sister had no choice the way he finagled her into this. The wedding is in 3 days, and these two are being so ungrateful. Because while Clayton is being nonchalant about all the responsibility that he's thrown at his sister, Anali is huffing and puffing at the fact that Brandy couldn't find a fucking llama in Indiana. She's also pissed at the description that Brandy gave of what the bachelorette will seem like. She made it seem like it was just going to be, a chill night, ordering food, but it's actually going to include like a lot more than that. Brandy's not trying to blow up Anali's spot in front of Clayton. It's supposed to be a secret between girls. But Anali doesn't know that in this moment. If someone is planning something for me, thank you so much. If you want something a little different, or if you have a vision that you're like, I want this, I need this, then you make it happen. Also, Brandy is not even close to Anali. She doesn't owe her anything. Again, these two really need to go to a courthouse and just call it a day. I need to know what y'all think about these two, so let me know in the comments. The way Clayton was pushing blame on Anali and talking shit about her with his mom really rubbed me the wrong way. It's like a little kid whining, and then I was like, you know what? This must be the version of Clayton that Anali sees all the time, and maybe that's why she's so, tense with him. Maybe that's why she acts like a señora with him. Because I'm just like, I really hope for your sake that you are not like this all the time. But if I was engaged to Clayton, I could see how she would need to mother him all the time. I look forward to reading all your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in the next one.